Former UC men's basketball coach Bob Huggins still on the job tonight after making controversial comments during Bill Cunningham's show on 700 WLW yesterday. Thanks a lot for being with us here at 5:30. I'm Mike Dardis.
And good evening to you. I'm Cherie Palillo. Huggins was discussing a rivalry between UC, where Huggins once coached, of course, and Xavier when he used a homophobic slur to describe Xavier fans in the community, not once but twice. Huggins, of course, coached at UC for 16 years from 1989 to 2005 before then heading to his alma mater, West Virginia, where he remains the head coach there now. Huggins was expected to attend the school's coach caravan yesterday, but when WVU athletic director Wren Baker arrived, he told reporters he could not. WVU Athletics says that the remarks do not represent their values and that they are reviewing the incident.
Also left unaddressed so far whether the host of the show, Bill Cunningham, will face any consequences.
Yeah, so it's a question that's been raised on social media and elsewhere since yesterday when all of this happened. It's one that WLWT News host John London asked about today. He's live in Norwood with more. John?
Well, this is where 700 WLW radio studios are located here in Kenwood. It's where our cameras and microphones have been welcome over the years for various topics and various shows and various reasons. Today, the welcome mat was not out. Bill Cunningham, shown here in previous video, was unavailable for any of that today. On the day after a churning controversy about a slur from Coach Huggins on his radio program, silence about it.
I've been listening to the show since he came on the air right after the noon news, and I thought he'd come on and apologize or say something, and he didn't. Nothing happened.
Veteran WVXU media reporter John Kieswetter says all this is not only about what was said, but what came after.
His reaction was to laugh, and then later on turned to Steve Moeller in the studio and said, "Isn't he the best? He's the best." So he could have admonished Bob Huggins for saying it.
I was surprised that it got through over the air. That was my first. I'm like, why didn't he dump that? Now, if it had been me.
Veteran radio talk show host Lincoln Ware of 1230 The Buzz talked about how he would and has handled offensive language on his show.
I think you address it right away and set the tone for we don't talk like this. We don't say things like this on my show.
Huggins issued a public apology within a few hours. At iHeartRadio today, I got as far as the lobby door, asking if anyone there would answer questions about the criticism that's been leveled on social media platforms and elsewhere. No one responded, not even Cunningham. Talk shows dive headlong into controversial topics on a daily basis. Today was apparently a time to avoid one of them. Here's why Kieswetter believes Cunningham is culpable.
He put the guy on the air. He didn't hit a dump button. He laughed at the offensive remarks.
Kieswetter wrote in his column today that whatever punishment is doled out to Huggins, be it suspension, fine, or firing, the same, he believes, should apply to Cunningham. Reporting live in Kenwood, John London, WLWT News 5.
All right, John, thanks so much for that. You know, John, we know by the nature of Cunningham that he pushes a lot of envelopes. He all the time is kind of, and especially on the Stooge Report, a lot of times they're laughing, they're making jokes, but we don't know at this point if perhaps some people have said, was it a nervous laughter? Also, what was meant when he was saying he's the best? Was it directed at Huggins, or was it then maybe directed at that in-studio guest there? Have we gotten any word on that today?
No, and we don't know if he's following the direction of his employer by not speaking, or if it is his choice. These are all legitimate questions that you raise, and those are questions that it would be interesting to hear from Cunningham about. At some point he might address it, but he's not compelled to. It's up to him, but certainly his listeners and a lot of people in the community would like to hear what he has to say about the very points that you just raised.
All right, John London reporting live for us tonight. John, thanks so much for the update.